Welcome to Webway Radio episode 7. I'm Kurt.
I'm Mark.
And today we're going to talk about hobby motivation.
Yep, it's something that I think affects pretty much everyone. It applies to everybody, but it's something that, well, I definitely struggle with, and I guess a lot of people do.
I've got the hobby ADHD real bad.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't figured that out by now, it's and you can look at the desk and it's a mess.
Look at our episode titles. It's both of us.
Man, call us out. Jeez. But you're not wrong. So yeah, we're going to talk about motivation. We actually have a ton of hobby progress today. That segment really stretched.
Someone's been motivated.
Yes. It's crazy how something new and refreshing really pushes you.
Yeah.
I played a couple of games I'll talk about. Mm-hmm. I played 2 very brief games.
Yeah.
But they were fun. Something we didn't talk about. I want to get into sim racing.
Oh, yeah, with like the full like wheel and brakes.
I want the wheel and the brake. I don't want like the whole chair and but I just want to, But I've been playing a lot of Formula 1, which I refuse to have assist even with a controller. Send it. Well, and that's the problem. You're in a car going so fast. Where if you're turning just a little bit and you so much as hit the curbs, I mean you're out. and so yeah, it's like and it's intense.
Yeah.
And the tracks are so complicated. The racing line is so strict.
That's cool.
You get 3 practice sessions, and it's like last night I spent an hour and a half practicing Bahrain.
To try and
get the first lap's like 2 minutes. And I finally got it down like a minute 38, and everybody else's pace like a minute 22. I was like, all right, just gotta keep at it. Yeah. So it's like, do I just buy a wheel, or maybe if I can sell off the Drukari, I'll buy me a wheel.
We'll see. Yeah, it takes up less space.
Space.
There won't be a new codex for the wheel either.
Stop.
Codex every.
The problem is, do I pick the PC and Xbox or the PC and PlayStation 5 one? I don't really have any updated stuff, but like that could potentially steer future consoles. Not that I can afford them.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, I played a lot of Forza. It's like, what do I?
Interesting.
And I want a PS5 to play Gran Turismo 7.
I mean, if you have a reason to go for one of the consoles, though, then maybe that guides you towards a.
But it's like, do I spend $700? So yeah, so we talked about what kind of motivates us and what drives us.
Yeah.
And we just kind of chat for, don't know how long it's going to last. We'll see. You haven't got to that yet.
Just casual talk, just kind of
just chatting as we do.
Off the cuff, but I mean, it's natural. So,
and as I always seem to remember in the intro, share the post with your friends. Leave us a comment. If you have something specific that motivates you, let us know.
Absolutely.
We'd love to hear about it or hear from you.
All the
or
pleasantries.
Just to know that like there's one person out there that isn't a bot that's listening. That'd be great. Anything else to add in the intro, Mark?
No, I think that covers it. I'm looking forward to going over our hobby progress. So on that note, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back to talk about hobby progress.
Sounds great. So let's talk hobby progress.
There's actually quite a bit of it for both of us this time around, huh?
No, it's been 2 weeks of progress around here. What have you been working on?
My lizards.
Lizard boys.
It has been a lot of work. Some of it will not end up being used. I'm sure you can relate.
Yes, we'll get to that.
So I built 2 units of skinks, so like 20 skinks. And I think I had been working on those as of last episode. I finished those up. That was a little rough. And then I pivoted a little bit with what I'm actually going for, because my final list I've decided will be leaning a lot more Saurus. And it's like,
excellent.
The skinks and Croxagore were an afterthought. And It's like, this is not a good use of this points. I need to it's just half strength units. It's like, I don't want to roll with those. Like a damage dealing, like a distraction Carnifex unit, or just something that can, I don't want it to be small size. It doesn't feel super efficient. So I nixed those. I'm adding a Troglodon instead. So giant regenerating dinosaur that's also a wizard.
I love it.
Yeah. It's not as aggressive as my Carnosaur chassis, but it's still a mobile, tanky, basically anti-infantry wizard that I can put near. And yeah, my Toad can cast through other wizards. So I now have a mobile piece that can like reposition. And
wasn't there a 40K army that could do something like that?
I don't know. It'd probably be Thousand Suns, surely.
I don't remember. I feel like there was something that could do that in 40K.
Cast through something else. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, I never played Psychic. Like in 9th when Psychic was actually a thing. I never played.
You missed out. You missed out.
Yeah.
Back to your skinks real quick. That was the old kit.
Yes, very old.
Assembling something like that versus new GW kits. Do you have a preference?
Well, they ended up taking almost the same amount of time as the Saurus did.
Was it a kit where you could just clip whatever you wanted and glue whatever you wanted? Or was it still kind of like this leg goes to that leg and this chest goes to that leg piece and then the arms go to that?
They're 4 pieces. Their head, body, legs, tail are all one monopose piece. You glue on their arms.
Okay.
And then if you want them to have a shield, you cut off the weapons off of one of their hands and glue on a shield. And then they slot into the base.
Because I know like the high elves and the skeletons from my old Tomb King army, it was literally just like clip all the legs, the arm, and you just, and even my Drakar, you just like put it all in a pile and like, oh, this chest looks cool with these legs and that arm goes cool here. And, and you just kind of did it however you wanted to.
You absolutely could do that with these because none of their weapons are two-handed. So it's mix and match. And I did. Okay. So I've got dudes with the like clubs. I've got dudes with javelins and shields and blow darts and 2 javelins and like just a random mix because they're just skirmishers or trash weapons pretty much.
Huh. Okay.
But the mold lines, man, they take a long time because I'm fussy about it.
Kit came out
probably like 2000. I was like 4 or something. So it's probably I'm banking it's at least like a 20-year-old kit at least.
I would say so, but I'm kind of curious now.
Let me know with the update on that. But so I swapped basically instead of having some skinks and a baby unit of Kroxigors, I swapped to just more Saurus because all of my buffs basically are around that. Like my terrain buff Saurus, my I don't know if it's called a detachment, but whatever. My regiment. My regiment.
Yes.
My regiment buff Saurus.
I'm learning.
Like the spell lore I'm going after buff Saurus. So it's like, I'm just going to, that's my favorite part anyways. So I'm just going to lean into it and see.
Sure.
So this week, I guess, or since we recorded last, I've built a double stuffed unit Saurus. I built a Carnosaur. Wow. I built a Troglodon. I built my little Ziggurat little realm shaper engine train,
which I will say is tiny.
It's very small.
I expected like 9-10 inches tall. I don't know why. As the box art really sells it as big. Maybe it skinks on the box art. I don't know.
Probably.
It is so small.
Yeah,
it's laughably small.
It is
5 inches maybe. Like
something.
It's tiny.
I'm okay with it because the way it works is my Saurus get buffs if you're within range of it. Oh. So I can put it somewhere aggressive.
Sure. I have to walk past it.
Yeah. And it's like if you're within 9 inches, I forget what it is. It might be just like +1 to my rolls or something. I forget specifically what it is, but I want it to be up there and in your face. And then it can also like attack other pieces of terrain and like damage stuff that's around it. If I have a wizard, I can shoot through the energy source on top and zap.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So built that and built some heroes. Yeah. So it's pretty much, I'm trying to get everything built because even with the little shuffling around, I have each stage for our escalation league. It's all planned out. So it's just the getting all that built. And I'll be doing like the basing, getting that prepped and then priming everything and then painting. But
have you chosen your bases yet or how you're going to do bases?
80% of how I'm going to do my bases. Okay. Yes. Okay. It's
there's always a plan that I get to do and it's like, oh, this is easier or better or whatever. Or I just print toppers. I haven't gotten there yet.
It's one of those I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to cut. I hate to say cut the corners, but it's kind of if I'm painting 40 Saurus, do I want to wet blend their hands?
Yes,
stuff like that. It's like I kind of do. That admittedly didn't add much time, but
it's shocking the things that don't add time, but like
when you do it 40 times,
it's going to take all day, and then it's like, oh no, I bang that out in like 30 minutes for 20 of them.
Yeah, but yeah, no, the Saurus take a while to build. They're like bodies, 3 pieces.
Sure. I did Google skink kit.
Oh, yes.
Apparently there was a new kit in 2023. So I couldn't find anything in the old one. Just on a quick Google, I will look. There's a guy that has a spreadsheet of every GW kit ever released.
Interesting.
I'm gonna look that up though.
What was the new kit?
Skinks, just fancy new skinks.
They'd have to be with something because the generic ones.
No, that's the new kit.
Yeah, that's the old kit, just repackaged.
Oh, they repackaged it, so it still shows it came out in 2023 though. So
yes.
Just new box art. Never mind.
They still look good though, for all things considered.
They're
Like,
so tiny. It's hard not to, right?
yeah, the new ones that are on like the Raptidons, like the new skinks, they don't look that different. They gave them a harder jawline, which I actually don't like because it's like they're lizards. They have like
Make them lizardy.
yeah, they don't need the Sigma jawline on the skinks.
Got to be ripped.
But yeah.
All right.
Yep. So that's been my progress. What about you?
Sounds like you assembled everything.
Almost.
I get it. So I assembled a lot of things too. I don't remember if I had finished the cavalry when we talked. I think I was working on them when we met up last week at Polyhedron.
You had to put the tails on them.
Yes. Yeah. So got the tails put on.
Cool.
They're amazing. I love those dudes. They're based. Fantastic. I ended up putting 20, 30 Fusiliers together, or some 3D printed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did 30 or 40 of the steel helms.
Oh, wow.
I think those half printed, 30 printed, 10 reel, something like that. I don't know. I got the spearhead and everything else was printed just because I love the other alternative models.
Yeah. I mean, they're just dudes. So
Got everything based, put the bases on them, played a couple of test games over the weekend, which I'll talk about in a bit. They look great. I also 3D print. You can see the table still set up in front of us here.
yes. Yes.
I've got my Tower of Insanity from Printable Scenery.
So cool looking.
It's huge. I've got the windmill. I've got the bell tower and all that. Ruins, a couple of buildings that are all ruined up. Like the table looks cool. Very busy with that. I haven't really done a lot though. This, like I told you pre-recording, April and May are just bananas. Last weekend was my only Saturday home in the month of May. So I had to make use of it. And we still ended up having people over and going to a friend's house and all that. So I was hobbying around all the little landmines that are family time.
Just try and get in progress where you can.
Yeah. Stayed up way too late the last few nights just working on miscellaneous things. I did start painting some steel helms over there.
Ooh, yes.
So, which primed them black, sprayed them white, sprayed them pink, sprayed them yellow. And that's where we're sitting.
Well, they're sprayed. So
They are very yellow. It's a very mustardy yellow, but I think that's more of a natural yellow.
it's like a dandelion yellow.
Yes,
almost,
I like it.
Yeah.
And I think with a wash, that's going to look really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some red on them and, the metal, and I think that's pretty close to being done.
That'd be cool.
Hit the details. All the shields have a spot for a decal, and I don't know how I feel about that. Part of me wishes something was molded on it instead of like, great, I have to now do 20 water slide transfers to make that unit done.
You could also do just like a stripe or like checkers or just like generic stuff.
I'm not. So that's all I really got for progress. Dude, I've done a ton of prep for Age of Sigmar.
Yes.
Wednesday, after we hung out, I had this crazy idea to pop by Game Exchange. I don't know what came over me. I was like, I'm going to go to Taco Bell. I'll pop in, as you do.
Yeah, of course.
And they had the Kruleboyz Swamp Lurkers box.
Oh,
From, I believe it was January 2023.
that's a while ago.
2.5 years just about on the shelf. They had it listed at MSRP. I paid about MSRP for it, but it's like $370 worth of value. So I think I got it for like $210 or something. The big dude on the vulture is in it. He's $168 himself on GW's website.
Insane.
And so it was like I paid for the other big character, which was $70, and then everything else was free.
Wow.
Or I paid for a unit of the stab dudes. I can't think of their names.
Oh, I would have remembered if you hadn't asked me.
I know. And I've got like 3 things to look at in front of me, but I can't reach it where I'm talking. It's okay. The spear stabby Kruleboyz dudes.
Are they just stabbers?
No. Anyways, but yeah, basically it's like buy the big dude and him, and like the other 2 units are just free in the box. So I was like, fine.
Gut rippers.
Gut rippers. That's the one. Thank you. You're on it today. I couldn't help it. I love a good deal. I was like, I'm going to flip it. And then Saturday, Michael came over and he tried out his, I keep wanting to call them vampire counts. He brought his Soulblight Gravelords.
Yes.
I say grave diggers. I don't know why I'm thinking monster truck today. Played a very quick game with him. And it was more of a like, we didn't really do everything. It was more of like, let's see how they move and how they shoot.
Slam
how do
these
we roll
guys into
this?
those
And
guys.
how does this mechanic? And it was more just like, let's try things and see what happens.
Yeah.
I got tabled in a turn and a half.
Ooh.
It was bad. It was so bad. Michael was like, I'm going to change dice. And he was using my dice.
Oh, wow.
really bad.
So it's our luck just isn't bound to our dice because I roll trash and then someone else picks these dice up and it's like, oh look, all sixes. Yeah, how dare you?
Shock. And that's exactly what happened. So then after we kind of saw the mechanics, we both kind of redid our list to kind of like, oh, I see how that works now. I should have done this or fielded that, or these guys kind of suck with that guy. So we tweaked it. We both took wizards. Like, let's see what magic does.
Yeah.
And of course, I miscast twice, and it was awful. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I loved some of the mechanics. The 3-inch engagement is really cool. More guys get to fight. More guys get to throw punches.
Did it feel less janky than 40K's current melee rules as far as...
I didn't have to ask him for his toughness 6 times of combat.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice.
But I mean, just like the weirdness of engaging and like trying to keep at a certain distance.
Like everything else, you kind of know 3 inches. But your charge, you only have to get within 3. And then your pile-in, that's when you start basic and getting more guys within that 3. So it was really neat.
It seems like you're probably less likely to get jailed in melee.
Yeah.
Because it's bigger.
I had to use the retreat thing once, and I think you can go through or over stuff.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
But you just take D3 wounds.
Yeah.
Mortals.
Makes sense. You're turning and running.
High risk, high reward. Do you lose 3 dudes, or does your character take the hits? Yeah. Or it's interesting. And if you don't kind of wrap the character, other things can charge specifically the character, or charge dual charge, and like it's neat. There's a lot to like.
Yeah. I'm honestly, the 3-inch melee range seems nice. I was testing out just the miniatures for my block of source. It's like, 3 inches. I was just holding 3 inches up to the big block. It's like, okay.
Print little 3-inch circles and cut them out. Like, no, I really like it. It's a cool mechanic, and I can't wait to dive in a little more on that.
Yeah, I still got to get my game in. I am close.
Well, if I wasn't going to the beach in a day and a half, like I'd offer to come over or have you come over this weekend, but I'm a little tied up.
It's all good.
But we played those games, and I just couldn't make anything work. I mean, not only were my dice bad, I just felt like my units just weren't doing what they needed to do.
Sure.
And as we've discussed, Cities of Sigmar is like 3 mini codexes in one. You've got your humans, you've got your dwarves, and you've got your dark elves.
3 codexes in a trench coat.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like they're supposed to be together in all this, and yet the human rules only really apply to the human stuff. The dwarf rules only apply, like the buffs from the characters only apply to the dwarfs, and the dark elves only apply to the dark elves.
So then at that point, you're almost punished for like splitting a little bit. You almost want to just dive into one specific thing.
But as we kind of discussed last time, the dwarf stuff is no longer listed as Cities of Sigmar. It's back in dwarfs under Old World.
Right.
And the dark elf stuff exists, but even like half of the Cities of Sigmar models that were from the Empire army, now that Old World's back and Empire's a thing, are back under Empire. So
yeah, risky.
I don't know what's going to be in the book, and I really hate to go buy a bunch of dwarfs and then suddenly be gone.
Yeah.
Or taking a dark elves and like, oh yeah, we got rid of those too.
Yeah. I mean, the second, like you will
I know my luck. By the time they're painted and built, they're gone.
They will see you purchase them specifically, and they're like, oh, that's right. We forgot to remove them from the codex. Let's add that real quick. Is that
Yep. And they're legend. So I think I love the army. I love the aesthetics. I love the way it looks and feels, and like it just gives you that cool like old Empire vibe. I want to play them.
Underdogs.
But I have to wait.
Yeah.
I can't start this game with building an army where 2/3 of it could just disappear this fall.
Yeah, just wait for it to settle.
So I've got the spearhead stuff. I'm going to build that up. I'm going to paint that. I'm still painting it.
Yeah.
It's still literally on my table right now.
Yes.
But I have a metric butt ton of Kruleboyz. Mm-hmm. And after I bought that box, I was like, they're not a lot better. But this line isn't going anywhere.
Yeah. You also have more options to tech in other stuff.
Yes, like there's some neat things in the armies or regiments of renown with the goblins and the trolls and all the things.
Plus you can just straight up, if you take the regiment of renown, you can straight up have a 50-50 Kruleboy Ironjaw split.
Oh yeah, army of renown. Yep, and I could just split it, and it's pretty cool too. Yep. So I think I'm gonna tech into that. I dug all my stuff out, and then I actually bought a box. What I thought was just going to be the Dominion half of the Kruleboyz. Buy a second one because all the stuff is good, and we've only got like 4 infantry choices anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you almost every one of everything.
Bingo, it's 2 more units of everything. PD has walked in the room. Apologies for the noise. It was like 2 Dominion boxes in that box I bought for
Really?
$50. And it turns out Christoph got them from Jeff. Jeff had got them from Michael. And it's like, Michael was over here. He's like, I think those are my old models. I was like, no, man, I got it from Christoph. He's like, yeah, where'd Christoph? He's like, I sold them to Jeff. And I messaged him. I was like, hey, where'd you get your stuff? He's like, I got it from Jeff. I was like, oh my God. So this army has changed hands like 4 times in this inside of our little group, and none of us knew it.
Oh my gosh. It was like a year ago. They were trying to sell, like, one of whoever had it at the time was like, oh, I'm trying to sell the mini box. Of course, I already had one because for Warcry.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just use them for Warcry, man.
Yep.
You have one of every option. You have the full roster available to Warcry in that box.
Yep. Yeah, that's when, and Jeff gave them to Christoph for, I think he was going to try to convert them for 40K or something.
Yeah. But it's like, I never expected to then like sit down and then that will be the army that I'm facing.
Yep. So it's kind of funny. Like I got a little bit of everybody's touched here.
They've come back
kind of cool. Yeah. No. I thought it. Yeah. Just he's like, can I see my old stuff? Yeah. And dug the box. Like, yep, these are mine. They were like ice orcs or something.
Yeah.
Which was cool, but I wasn't going to try to do blue orcs.
Of course.
I'm still debating. Back to hobby for a second.
Oh yes.
I always said if I ever did orcs in 40K, I would do the Burning Crusade Outlands orc from Warcraft.
Oh, what do they look like?
Brown.
Ooh,
Like a
kind of cool.
Yep.
Like
The problem, I've read the lore, read some of the lore.
Yes.
The Hobgrot Slittas are kind of a yellowish color. And that's because they don't fight for the love of the fight.
Oh,
They went, and this is all, I just listened to a whole like 5-hour podcast on how Kruleboyz work, and that really got me excited to play here.
yeah.
But Mork or Gork, I don't know which one, maybe both, got very upset that they were trying to be mercenaries and just, you pay us, we'll fight.
Yeah.
They didn't fight to fight.
Interesting.
So they took the color from them, and that's why they're brown. Because they're like, they're wearing their color of shame or whatever. So everybody knows
Interesting.
that they don't just fight to be fighty; they fight to get paid.
Interesting.
So I got to figure out, like, do these guys stay yellow and the other guys are more brown, or how do I make that work? you know?
Yeah.
So, and maybe my Kruleboyz are just all mercs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta think on that. I got a week at the beach to figure it out,
That'd be kind of cool.
and then I have to come back and hobby hard.
What would the armor be for those guys?
I don't know. It's not really armor; it's just cloth and stuff, and they've got the shields.
They got like some plates, don't they? It'd just be probably
no.
silver or something.
It's like cloth. Yeah, I guess there is a little bit of plate, but
Well, like the archers like have helmets and whatever.
yeah, I'd probably just do like a metal with
Silver or
rust on
whatever.
it because they're in the swamp and
Yeah.
clearly are not upkeeping their things.
They don't care.
Yeah. And they need to have a Cajun accent. That's instead of talking in that like British accent, like I gotta learn Cajun. So at the table, I'm talking like the guy from the Waterboy.
Oh, I was gonna say watch some. What was that show with the
Crocodiles.
Yes, the alligator hunters.
That's I got a coworker that watches that. Something he'll show us clips. I was like, oh man, that's bad. Yeah, I need to watch a bunch of that and get inspired. So I think that's the direction I might go on these guys.
That'd be fun.
All right. Anything else for hobby or games? Did you play any games?
No.
Oh, we talked about you were gonna play game you showed me last time.
Oh,
What was that called?
Tactics.
Tell us about a tactics.
Oh,
'cause
boy.
this looks awesome.
It is such a weird little 2000s thing. So it came out before Revenge of the Sith. This is Hasbro. They made it, and it's this weird cross between an action figure line and like a collectible game, because you would have originally bought random packs that would just have stuff in them.
I immediately think Hero Clicks.
A little bit, yes. But you only needed a flat surface. There's no grid.
Sure. You sent me a video clearly from the early 2000s.
Yes.
It's so pixelated.
Yes.
It's like 180p. And I was like, what are they doing? I was like, oh.
That was from a tournament at one of the conventions, like
Wherever.
San Diego
Yeah.
Comic Con in like
Yeah.
2007 or whatever. But so basically they're figures on bases that shoot missiles. And
when you say shoot missiles, I think of like the kids' toy commercials where like they shoot the lasers.
Yes.
And you hit the little button and it's spring loaded it's spring loaded the little Spider-Man web shooter or whatever. And they shoot out. That's what the game is.
Yes. And it's so you would think that would probably be like, I don't know, I guess a little lame, but they fire really hard.
It looked awesome.
You can, so there's shooters that shoot different sizes of missiles, and like, there's even force users that shoot a big like force blast thing that's actually heavy. So you have to like lob it. But the characters have different base sizes and movement. There's like a little wheel on the bottom that clicks every like, and that's how you move. So like a clone trooper move 4 clicks. So click,
so
click,
cool.
click, click. And then all the characters have a point cost and like a class.
Yeah.
And on the underside of figures, they have abilities that are, it could be like free attack for clone troopers or return one of your other Jedi back. And it's kind of, every character has a different percentage of that power going off. Because when you're clicking the wheel to move on the underside, it's, you know, I guess a percentage chance. If that little window under there is white, that power goes off. So your character might have a smaller base, but their power's more likely to go off. Whereas like your cheap units might have a good power, but it's like will happen 8% of the time.
Wow.
But it's kind of every character has an on death ability. And dude, on death abilities are such a cool little comeback mechanic. Well, it's like some of them are, you kill the bounty hunter, and the bounty hunter ability that most of them have is just capture. It's just take control of the person that killed this guy.
Oh, so you're him now.
Yeah. It's like if you have someone else, but it's really cool. There's the melee characters, you know, various, like Chewbacca has a big hand and will just slap people, like lightsabers hit and stuff. And then they added, so it's Star Wars mostly. Sure. And then they added Transformers and Marvel.
Why is this not like the best selling action game on the market? Like
I wish that it had a longer life. There's still a lot to it. And it's kind of still cheap. I on occasion, when I remember it exists, I'll go on eBay and look for if there's like a cheap lot.
Yep.
So I have a big bin of these now. But yeah, I had 3 friends come over and we played from like 6 in the evening to midnight.
That's so
just
cool,
playing it over and over and over. It's just it's goofy, it's janky. Like, I mean, you know, they made it for kids, but the fact that it's physics based, like there's some skill involved with like where you shoot the guy. Obviously, you know, a big figure, sometimes you need to shoot like their arm and it'll spin them out, or shoot the base, but it's super casual. It's super fun. There's like this intensity. Everyone just gets quiet when you're like aiming to shoot and then you miss or shoot your own guy and everyone's, whoa.
It looked like a blast, and you sent some pictures of your like setup. It looks really cool.
It's fun. I'm jealous. On a little 3x3. I'll have to bring it sometime.
I agree. Or I come to your place. Like still waiting to see like the mythical Mark house. So one day. That's fine.
But
all right, well, cool. So let's wrap up this segment, and then we will move on to our main topic.
Yes.
Hobby motivation.
Yes.
All right, so we'll be back after the break.
See you in a bit.
Let's jump back in and hit our main topic.
Yeah.
Hobby motivation.
Do you want me to go first?
Mark, what motivates you to hobby? What makes you sit down at night and assemble or paint or whatever it is you're doing in the hobby? Because as we all know, purchases count.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to buy your feelings in Games Workshop plastic, and we've all been there. So what motivates you to do hobby?
Well, the threat of an impending deadline at the moment.
I will say, to get an army 100% complete, book a tournament.
Yeah.
That's how the Drakari got painted.
You know, so obviously we're both hobbying for the Escalation League for
NashCon is August 15th through the 17th.
For Age of Sigmar?
Age of Sigmar.
Ooh.
I've thought about it.
Interesting.
$169 for 2 nights. We could split a room for $169 plus tax. Just throwing that out there.
Interesting. Yeah, so pretty much it's just because a lot of times my hobby of the last couple years honestly has been like 90 5% building and like 5% painting. I don't like that ratio.
I get it.
It's
easier. I can set building down and walk when there's a crisis.
Yeah.
I can set that down. If I got paint in the airbrush, it's like, sorry, daddy's not here. You're going to have to deal with this until this paint is cleaned out of this airbrush. And I'm not wasting this paint.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think it's maybe more fun a little bit. Like you see the progress with building more apparently. Yes. Mm-hmm. And quicker. And you know, we between what you and me have played and between all the other stuff before, you and I, like Matt, just bouncing around so much. So it's just constantly in the building phase. Yep.
The building phase. Maybe that could be do you want to rebrand? I love that. Phase. There's the paint phase. Now we got the build phase.
So it's just nice to, like, I think I mentioned last time, all my boxes of everything. I have a little fold out table. I popped it up. It's in my office. I have the stack of boxes. This is what I have to get through. And that stack has gone down a lot.
You love building so much.
No.
I can help. I got Eldar. I got Necromunda. Wait. Like 7 armies here. You could just go ham.
See, I'm also purging my backlog too.
Me too.
But yeah, so that has honestly been really good. Kind of just this is what I need to get done. Just having something finite. Like having my list planned out, and even if it sucks, I mean, I have enough stuff.
You got your 2,000 points. You know what to kind of aim at.
Yeah, I can make little tweaks, like a small adjustments, because I do have more than 2,000 points.
Right.
But just having a game plan, just having something set, finite, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. There's no more eBay browsing, like, oh, you know, no temptation
for that.
Yeah, until there is. I've been good though. I haven't done it.
So you do it better than me. I'm so proud of you.
So Doom Dark Ages just came out last week, and I've been playing that a lot, but I have been forcing myself to build X amount of models before I boot the game up. And that apparently has worked very well based on the amount of models that I've gotten built. Because it's just man, I really want to play this, but
Make yourself hobby for an hour first.
Yep. It's like, no, I got to build half a unit, build 5 guys, and then I can get on and play a level. Yeah, just kind of trying to build that association with something else too. Like I definitely Tabletop Minions as every other Sunday show.
Yes,
he has like a backlog of like 250 of those from starting. I don't know how many years ago, but pretty much that backlog is what because they're each like 2 hours. That's what I listen to.
Is that Uncle Adam?
Yep.
He's a cool dude.
I really like Uncle Adam a lot.
He's a cool dude.
He's, I think, probably the first YouTuber I really found in this space way back in the day.
Yeah.
Before I really did anything Games Workshop, I just liked his stuff.
Yeah. I know people that don't hobby or do anything, and they're like, "Oh, Uncle Adam's the best."
Yeah.
Like, wait, you what?
Yeah.
You're not it. Okay.
Super cool. Love to meet him someday. But yeah, so I'm just going through his backlog, and kind of that's my association is whenever I paint or build or whatever, I'm switching on Uncle Adam. Cool. Yep. I just have that tab up on my browser perpetually. It's just always, you just click over and boom. So yeah, that's kind of been my motivation at the moment. It's mostly just upcoming tournament. I want to have my stuff done.
Well, Escalation League.
So upcoming games, I want to have it done. I'm tired of looking at gray plastic on tables. It's annoying me. I'm annoying myself. But
don't look in this general direction. Well, technically, black plastic.
Yes. It's also that's your problem.
Yeah, that's definitely a Kurt problem.
But what about you? What's been motivating you recently?
Recently, listening to some of the cool podcasts, specifically Garage Hammer, and his super in-depth lore kind of readings of the things. Yeah. He's like an English professor or something.
Okay.
And at one point, he had his students doing extra credit by reading passages.
That's cool.
Especially during the End Times reviews. Like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
But I listened to his, 4-hour thing on Cities of Sigmar, where he talked about the army and where they came from and how it does all the things and lore reasons for this and that. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then now, obviously, I've kind of teched into the Kruleboyz a little bit. So listening to those stories,
seeing their origins and all that stuff.
Yeah, and kind of why they do this and why they do that, and that sort of thing has been really neat.
But the fluff.
And it's one of those things where I kind of fantasize like all day, oh man, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna paint this, I'm gonna do that, and blah blah blah. And I'm so excited to hobby, and I get home and I gotta be a dad, and I gotta walk the dogs, and I gotta do dinner, and I gotta do this. And then by the time I finally get to sit down at 8:30, it's like, all right, cool. And I know specifically I kind of like you. Building's just easier because I can walk away from building.
Yes.
You know, if something happens, I use a little glue topper tip things.
Yep.
And I don't have to worry about closing my super glue. I just literally just get up and walk away. Even now, it's open and it never actually, you know, the tip of it might whatever. You just pull it off and it's good again.
Yes.
So I can just get up and walk away if, you know, somebody needs a goodnight hug or the dog has to pee or there's a crisis or a spider I have to go kill. It's just
a lot easier to drop and do.
But yeah, if there's a pot full of paint, sorry, you're gonna have to wait. And so I almost can't paint or airbrush or anything when the family's doing stuff unless I just shut the door, AirPods in, and like Daddy's not here.
Fair enough. No, I mean even with building, like there'll be times I'm playing with friends, we're playing Helldivers or whatever, and while everyone's figuring out their loadout or someone's going to take a restroom break or
I
get
can
a
do
snack.
one arm.
Yeah, it's like I'm just build a dude. It's like
I love it.
It's got my dudes off to the side.
I will say, June 16th to the 20th, my family's at church camp.
Oh,
I have blown 4 of my vacation days to take off Tuesday through Friday.
wow.
So it's going to be hobby palooza up in here, one way or the other. Like, doesn't matter what I'm going to hobby for 4 days straight until my back hurts. Like Thursday, it's going to be like I need more Tylenol or whatever just to get through the day. But the plan is to just paint everything.
That'd be cool.
And thankfully,
I'm jealous.
I've already forgot their names. Stab boys.
Oh, gut rippers.
Thankfully, I've got like 60 gut rippers. And it's one of those things where like I can literally just, all right, we're breaking out the green.
Yep.
And we can do all the greens. And while that's drying, I can turn around and bang out like 60 Hopgrot Slitta skins. And I can go back and do the armor on these. And it's just, I'm going to batch paint the hell out of these guys.
Yeah.
Because I did, 3 units in a day and a half for my Genestealer Cult when we had the snow days. Mm-hmm. And that was with the family here.
Oh.
The productivity should skyrocket with the family gone. And that's kind of the plan.
I'll have to set aside some serious painting time myself.
And two, though, if you're free those nights or that week, like come game in the evenings or something. Like I'm gonna just be around with no responsibility. It's gonna be like sweatpants and t-shirt Kurt. Okay.
I mean, I could bring paints over myself if my
Come
stuff's
hobby,
primed.
yeah.
I could have like a.
And in fact, not this coming Saturday, but maybe next Saturday, I'm gonna try to have some people over to hobby if you want to pop in at some point. I don't know what you got going on. I literally thought about it today when I was mowing the grass because it was quiet, and that's like my half hour to just kind of like have my thoughts.
Your shower thoughts, but they're mowing thoughts.
Yeah, I need to do another pass. Definitely need to do another pass.
Yeah.
So So I was thinking that today. I was like, man, I should just send out, light the fires, let everybody know, like, I'm gonna hobby. You can come hobby.
Drop by if you want to.
Problem is, I'm still waiting on those other tables.
Oh yeah, what's with that?
It's one of those things where I don't want to push.
Right.
And I don't want to, because I was like, take your time. It's fine.
Yep.
I'll have them done in a week. Has turned into like 6 weeks.
Didn't say which week.
He technically did not.
So,
but with the school system kind of wrapping up, I think he'll work next week and then he's off the rest of the summer.
Gotcha.
I think.
So put finishing touches on that.
Right. So
2 coming in.
2 4x4s. And at this point, it may just be like paint/hobby tables for the time. And this could just be dedicated game table.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff just isn't on this. And that just leaves this open for gaming.
Yeah.
Unless somebody comes over and then it's like, all right, cool. I can, because there's shelves underneath it, I can just put things on the bottom.
Ooh, that's nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
just having a space. I mean, I think I mentioned before, that's what the fold out table, because it's, dude, my desk got covered in models just everywhere.
So fast, especially when you're assembling and
yes.
like, look at the Cities of Sigmar on this table, and that's a third of them. Like,
yeah, they're everywhere. But so I popped up that table. It's just nope. I'm laying out all my dudes. Like this unit got built, they're getting moved to the other table, just so I have a hobby space.
Right, you can actually, not have to like paint around the unit. Yeah,
because it's like, oh, here's 20 skinks and 40 of these guys. And
I had to do that over there just to like, all right, these are the 11 dudes I'm painting.
Yeah.
12. I got a wizard over there too.
It's a very fancy hat. I like the hat.
It's a cool hat. That's a really neat model. I printed a priest. I was like, oh, we don't just straight have priests. Like I was really bummed out. But I've got a very angry preacher with dog. And don't really have anything. I'll find something to make it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's like that weird little command squad or whatever, right? Of like all the different.
Yeah. And see, the new spearhead's got that in it, I think.
I think so.
We just need a date for the darn spearhead.
Yeah.
Give it to us, Games Workshop. Because there's also Lizardman / Seraphon.
There is.
I don't know what you're called. I'm
Seraphon.
fantasy. It'd always be like dark elves to me and whatever.
The lizards.
They're not Soulblights. They're vampire counts, damn it. And I will die on that hill.
Oh, did you see they're not Graveguard anymore?
Yep.
Barrow Guard. Admittedly, they look really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little sad that my Graveguard I kit bashed from the new skeletons and the old ones. You saw them, I think, when we played Warcry. But it's like, that's not what they look like anymore.
I made a mistake of listening to the latest Garage Hammer, and he was doing the lore on that. And I was like, oh man, these guys are cool.
Soulblight are cool.
But they got rid of a lot of the old fantasy characters in that codex.
Yeah.
So like all the Van Karsteins are gone except for
Manfred.
1 out of 7. Give me Vlad, give me Conrad. Like I want the crazy vampire that just murders people to murder people.
It's his job. He enjoys it. To be fair, a lot of those models were already gone though off the site, I think.
Yeah, but
they culled some
they live
characters.
on in our hearts.
It's fine.
So is a Tantalus. We got rules for that now. Back to the motivation side of things.
Yeah.
I've tried to get into some Age of Sigmar books.
Just like audiobooks.
I'm struggling.
Just because they're difficult to find, or just they're not that interesting, or what?
The 2 or 3 that I've tried just haven't been interesting to me.
Interesting.
Like I've tried the cities, I tried the Callus and Toll books, and I'm like an hour into the first one, and I forced myself to listen to it on the mower, and I found myself like, what? I'd completely zoned out there, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm struggling with that. And there's not like a lot of Kruleboy books or at least from the Kruleboy point of view. There's a lot of people fighting them.
Understandably so.
But I'm just kind of struggling to get into the stories. I don't know.
Yeah.
And granted, I've only tried a couple, and maybe I just need to resubscribe to Audible and just, all right, this is the most popular. Let's listen to that.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I guess there's not been as much time for there to be as many books.
There's a lot of books, though.
Really?
It's insane.
Interesting.
So many more than I thought.
Huh. Yeah. No, I didn't really know that. I figured it'd be less. I mean, there's still obviously less than 40K, but I guess it would make sense that they'd start pumping them out.
There's been so many campaigns. Like every campaign gets a book.
Interesting.
It's crazy how far in advance they've got these guys banging stuff out. So they're probably writing stuff for like 2 editions from now.
Well, at least they are giving it attention.
Yes.
Yes. That helps. Games Workshop. It helps if you, when you release a game, you give it attention. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
Poor Warcry.
Oh, pour one out. It's next.
It still exists. Like it's just like, yeah, we're not gonna do much.
There's like 3 kits listed on the website now. I think.
Well, now it's just everyone uses the compendium.
I know. I'm trying to think with from the motivation standpoint, and I'm just spitballing here. Don't or feel free to jump in. A good audiobook really pushed me, especially with like Heresy and Space Marines and things like that. Like listening to the Space Wolf stuff, it's like and I hobbied the hell out of Space Wolves for a year.
Yeah,
I'm not quite there with the Cities of Sigmar, just because again there's not a city specific like story. It's like Callus and Toll that take place adjacent to the Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah,
it's about these 2 dudes, not the army. And I think that's my problem. I went in thinking like, oh, it's cool. And it's about like an Inquisitor, and I just don't care.
I've just been listening to lore videos about the old world.
Sure.
Because I mean, but it's like, if you listen to Empire stuff, that's like ballpark.
Yeah, yes.
It's
like, I want Reichland. I want,
yeah. Which, but honestly, just associating something like, that you enjoy listening to, which, maybe it's not Age of Sigmar that you'll end up listening to if you find something else.
Yeah, maybe I need to hit one of those lore YouTubers and just like, all right, he's going to talk for 10 hours about a thing.
Yeah, it's just kind of I am only going to do this when I hobby. So you kind of, and actually,
that's my TV time, Mark. I can't. It's the only time I can watch stuff and not have my kids hear what I'm listening to.
Yeah. So it's just that basically. It's I want to do this thing. Maybe I don't feel like painting.
Sure.
But I am only going to do this thing when I paint. So then you've kind of you trick.
And I've got shows that I like do that with.
Yeah.
And there's shows that I only watch if I can sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of painting, you said most of your time is spent assembling.
Yes.
I struggle with picking up the brush. But once I pick up the brush, it's like a 3-hour session. It's just picking. It's like going to the gym. If I go to the gym, which I don't, I'll gym hard.
Yeah.
Or even getting on the bike and like, I'm going to do 10 miles around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it. I enjoy doing it. really, really enjoy doing it. But it's getting up and doing it.
Yes, and I struggle with the same thing for whatever reason, man. Like just filling up the water cup feels like this big challenge.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I gotta get the stuff out of it. And like, what if it dried a little bit? And
yes, pretty much just getting yourself to do it is the thing. And sometimes it is a little overwhelming. It's just like, oh, there's so much to do. But setting small, achievable goals, I feel like helps. Like, I'm going to paint a dude or paint the skin on all these guys tonight. Sure. And then you'll end up doing more.
Well, and that's kind of, you know, I like I said, I did the black, and the next day I sprayed the white, the next day I sprayed the yellow or the pink, and then I sprayed the yellow.
Just
and
forward
now it's like,
progress.
Crap, now I have to actually do metals, which I can't wait to do, but I'm going to the beach literally. We're doing this tonight. I'm packing tomorrow, and we're leaving the moment I get off work Friday. Yeah. So I'm done hobbying until next Thursday at least. And then it's like, we got to clean up and then all the things. And then
at least you should be like raring to go at that point though. You get back.
You know, I got this box peering at us here, and it's like, maybe I take a little bit of glue and take a snippers and some files. Cause it will rain at some point.
Yeah.
I'm going to be stuck in the house. Something to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do your swampy orcs when it's swampy outside.
I could build that big vulture boy.
You could. Mm-hmm. The big bird. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I brought I brought my hobby tools last vacation I went on. I ended up building like 2 storm vermin.
I've done it 2 or 3 last couple times we went. I just haven't.
Yeah.
You know.
It's hard to, well, I was very busy when I ended up doing it, but it was like a couple times I sat down. It's like, oh cool, look, rat man. It's but yeah, no. Sitting down and getting it started is the rough part. Yeah. We'll see how I fare when I get to that point, but I'm trying at least like 5 days a week, make some forward progress, even if it's just building like a couple dudes, but then everyone's going to be built. And then I'm going to put magnets on all the bottom of the bases. And then I think honestly, one of the biggest hangups for me is I will paint the mini, and then I haven't done any work on the base. Oh. And the gluing of the stuff on the base, for whatever reason, just like is a big hang up for me, because I have to wait like 24 hours for the glue to dry, because I use like Elmer's glue. You do? Whoa. Because I'm putting on lots of grit.
Do you have a heat gun?
No, I would be scared with how.
Put it on low. Keep it a couple feet away.
Fair enough. I want to like burn the paint off.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But yeah, it's kind of. But if I'm doing it in big batches, but. Yeah, just trying to make forward progress. And like I said, I think having small, achievable goals, because batch painting is kind of rough for me. I think I can do like 5.
It's a love-hate relationship. Like, I know it's so much more efficient to do it, but part of me is like, I just want to paint this guy. Like, yeah. But it's changing the colors and doing the things. And like, now I've got 7 colors on the palette. And I was like, when I could have just done green and, you know, blown through it, which I'm still going to do. Let's be honest. I'm going to blow through some green.
I was going to say,
brown.
What do you normally batch paint in, like quantity wise? How many do you normally? What's your comfort range?
I'll probably do units of 10 or 20 with these guys, just because they're such big units. But like Genestealer Cult, because it was all kind of the same uniform, and the same equipment. I mean, I'd put 50, and I wouldn't do 50 at once, but I just have like, all right, tonight I'm working on purple. And I might not get all 50 dudes.
Just go as far as you can.
The only color I'm going to hit with my brush is purple.
Interesting.
And then it's like, all right, I'm going to do the pants. I need orange. Only did orange. And just got through it. And then it's like, all right, tonight I'm doing weapons. Yeah. All right, here's my, bolt gun or whatever color I was using.
I might need to try that. Because when I was doing Marines, I think I did 2 batches of 5 simultaneously, but I cycled between them. It killed me, man.
What I liked about doing with the Genestealer Cult, and I think I've talked about it, like beat the dead horse here. I didn't worry about the details. Mm-hmm. I completely skipped over them because I hit everything with that AK Interactive. It hid my mistakes. It hid the overspray. It hid the streaks here and there.
Yeah.
I just do a little thicker. If like I had a little extra color on the pant, like, oh, cool, there's a second layer of yellow.
Yep.
And the AK would cover it. Or I would be extra careful to not pull stuff up over that. It just looked like a stain on his pants.
Yeah, yeah.
And I blew through most of that army. Like, it's 3/4 of the way done.
I mean, that's good still.
Yeah, I lost all motivation with it.
I wonder why.
A, the slog, and then B, I just kind of, as discussed ad nauseum, kind of
fatigued.
That's the word that sounds a lot more, not PC, but yeah.
Diplomatic.
Diplomatic. I like that.
It's better than it sucks.
Yeah.
It's
ish. Oh, hey, cool. Petey hit a streak. He must be outside.
Oh, look at there.
Woo.
Getting in his steps. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. Like I have a lot of my paints planned. Like
and see, you're doing the blue color, right?
Yeah. But I'm doing the Total War blue, not the box blue. So it's more.
Still need to play Total War.
It's more pale blue rather than teal blue.
Yeah.
But I like that color scheme with a very rich gold. It almost ends up being like reverse colors of Stormcast Eternals almost. Where it's just like that cool. Blue.
Yeah.
And then, they have really pale underbellies and stuff. But did you ever watch the 2000s Disney movie Dinosaur? It's like an iguanodon was the main character, and he's like adopted by like some primates.
Did he get lost or something at some point?
Maybe.
Or I think I've seen that with my kid. I've sat through so many kid movies.
So it was like full CGI.
Well, dinosaur, you said?
Yes. But basically the wait a minute, not Carnosaurus. That's the lizard men. The Carnotaurs, which I think is short for Carnotaurus. I don't know, whatever. The big theropod dinosaur.
I did not see. This is not the movie I was thinking of.
Oh, is it not?
No. That's the movie you're talking. It's not the movie I thought it was.
Yes. But the big predators in the movie were massive, but they had like, like spines all over them. Yeah. But they had a kind of dirty gray underbelly, and then they faded to like purple and then wine color on their back. Oh. So my Carnosaur, I'm painting them like that. I haven't figured what I'm gonna do for the Agrodons yet. Sure. But
and see, if I was doing Lizardmen, I think every unit would have to be like a different color of the rainbow almost. Like, all right, here's my yellow skinks, and here's my blue this, and here's my green that, and really lean into like, or even like a chameleon, like red to this to, and I don't know. You'd think I'd be a much better painter with all these crazy ideas I have.
I mean, see, I'm going to have to figure out a way to differentiate them because they have to be blue. Like base it's color. Kind of just I'm weird about that.
Have you considered different color flock for every unit?
I have considered,
or different color rock or different like.
So I got some static grass and there's some that are burnt and some that aren't.
I got you.
And so I may just put burnt on it. I also thought of just putting a blood-colored tally mark on the back of their bases, like a claw mark, and it's like that's fine.
I got base rings I can sell you real cheap.
But yeah, something like that. I'll have to figure out. Like I said, I think I'm probably leaning towards tally marks at the moment. I only have one type of unit that is duplicated in my army anyways, so
yeah, that's not bad at all.
No.
Must be nice. Or 4 infantry units.
Have you done like your list building for the Kruleboyz to see?
I've been tinkering, but I'm still kind of learning the nuances of like, well, I gotta have this character with that character, this guy, and how many wizards should I have? And I haven't played enough to really know
the sweet spot. And I'm sure you'll have to learn about it because I think my total wizard, I'll have a casting 4 between my 2 wizards. It was going to be 5, and I swapped out one of the characters to give the Saurus with the big glowy rock that heals people.
It's a very nice rock.
Yes, it's a very, very fancy rock. I swapped him in, but yeah. So do you have a ballpark of like how many dudes you think he'll be? Probably?
I still don't know how I want to go around with my gut rippers. I remember this time.
Hey.
I struggled. I almost said Stabby Boys again. I was thinking it. I don't know. They're pretty decent though for what they're doing. I mean, they're 2 health, which is kind of a big deal in this game.
They like 2 health is that they're probably the bottom of the threshold for 2 health, but I'm kind of surprised they have 2 health. I guess orcs. So
I mean, they got shields technically, but there's ways to give them like ward saves and stuff. So it's trying to figure out the buff bubbles and how you want to kind of play that because it's wholly within, not like toe in and everybody's like 3 feet away.
Yeah,
and so it's figuring out that
you're gonna have your buff dude in the middle of them almost
exactly. But there's also things that I can do to where if we're fully within 3 inches of a train piece, like. You can't see me outside of 12, so you can't shoot me.
Yeah.
So that prevents some shenanigans, like spells or range across the board or whatever. Not that I've seen a lot of ranged weapons more than 12 inches, but
it's like, I mean, I was gonna say I don't think we have a Skaven player in our league, but if they did, they would.
Yeah, I mean, our ranged dudes are 2 shots at 12 inches, 1 aimed shot at 18 inches.
Okay. Yeah, dude,
because it's extra rind.
I'm still being thrown by how short all the ranges are on everything. It's like, wow, that's a gun.
I would go to shoot Saturday, and it was like, I'll shoot this. I was like, oh, I can't shoot that.
Yeah,
like, I'm an inch out. It sucks. Even the cannon was like 24 inches max.
Wow.
And it only moved 3 inches. I didn't realize how slow that thing moved. Like, you pretty much have to place it, and it's got to sit there.
Wow.
Because it gets the other shot if it doesn't move.
Oh,
so find your firing lines and just sit.
Park it kind of wherever.
And I see why people are fielding 3 because you almost have to.
Just to have board coverage, right?
But it's like 5 shots if it doesn't move or 2 aim shots if it stays still.
Right.
So
interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the melee centric focus of just like, here's a big unit of bulky guys. I'm just gonna like slam into the point, and I won't be upset the entire time because my shooting's not getting to do anything. It's like I don't have shooting. It's like I'll throw a rock at you, or like I think my Saurus riding the Carnosaur can like shoot a laser out of his. He has a robot like a gauntlet arm, and he can like shoot. He used to be a character fantasy, that model, but yeah, he has like a Thanos gauntlet that he can shoot out of. So
crazy. But no, a 20-man block of these gut rippas is 20 wounds, or sorry, 40 wounds, and just dealing with that. I mean, that's you gotta dedicate something to it, and then everything else is moving up.
Yeah.
So
how long does it take you to build those guys? Because they're push fit, right?
Well, those have all been. I haven't built anything. Kruleboyz. These dudes are not. Yeah, the Saturday morning we get back, we're kids free, so
just slamming out all the
because we're not, or because we're going to be out of town for a week. It's like, nope, I'm sitting at home on Saturday. I've done family things. We've hung out. We've seen friends for 7 days. Like I'm home.
It's time.
Kurt time.
Yeah.
Hobby time.
No, that'll be cool to see them all done up. Interesting. So you're just going to like paint, because I guess, so that's been my hesitation, honestly, for.
Well, I'm not going to do like golden demon winning paint jobs on these dudes.
Sure.
I mean, quick colors.
Yeah.
Enough to like, Pat, like,
but he's got colors on him.
Yeah. Exactly. And this was literally my contrast test like 3 years ago. I'm not happy with it. They're going to get dipped.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't have to paint those guys, so they're staying.
Fair. Yeah, it's one of those, man, I'm such a perfectionist. It's hard for me to, and I hate to say cut corners, but it's like there's a standard that I feel like I have to paint to in order to be satisfied. I could paint way faster than I do, but it's like, man, I'm not happy with my stuff that way.
Well, let me ask you this, hobby motivation wise. Have you ever considered doing like a display bust or like a large centerpiece model? Like, I'm going to make myself put 50 hours into this model or 100 hours into, and just to see how far you could push.
See what it looks. I've considered it a little bit.
I want to one day.
Yeah.
But I've got to stop building armies just for like a month.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, I would probably want to make like a little diorama kind of thing. Or
and that's,
like
that's what I was thinking is like, yep, let's do something. And
it'd have to be, I don't know, it'd probably be like a scene from something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Weathertop or something like that. Just like, here's a little slice and, just kind of do a few characters doing a thing.
Or a huge chunk of that 3D print. It's huge.
Yeah.
But, just saying.
But it'd probably be something like that. It's one of those, I don't know. And I've had some family members and some friends tell me I should do display painting because I do tend to put more time into it than is probably needed for tabletop. Because my interpretation of tabletop standard is, I think I overdo.
100%. I mean, and it's like those commission painters. It's like, I don't have levels. I paint.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't commission paint. I think I would enjoy taking a job just once. Like, hey, let me paint that unit for you.
Yeah. I've done models for people.
Sure.
Like I've done, like people would have dead Marines on their base. It's like, give me the base. I'll paint them like my
I was
guys.
trying to convince Jackson to let me paint one of his knights. Like, just let me go nuts with one.
Yeah.
I want to paint a knight. I don't want to build it. I want to pay for it. You build it. Let me paint it. Let me do my thing. If you don't like it, I'll dip it for you.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear anything back on that. So
Oh, sadness.
it's okay. Whatever. That's one less thing I have to worry about painting.
That's true.
But that's something I'd love to just put 60 hours into one and time myself. Have a timer that's only, I'm sitting down, I've got the brush in my hand, start.
Dude, I've watched so many of those like paint an army in 24 hours or whatever, but I've seen so many things where they limit themselves for time.
Sure. Here's my 7 colors.
Here's my 7 colors. I have an hour to do this model. There's a part of me that wants to try that, but it's also
that is content, my man. We filmed that. We put that on YouTube. Why not? Let's go.
But it's also I also want to be happy with it on the other side. And thus far, when I've thought of that, content it's always
I know.
Before content hasn't been a consideration.
Sure.
It's more just been, I would be arbitrarily.
Now, would you stay up or would you just all right, today I'm going to do 5 hours. Tomorrow I'm going to do 7 hours. I know this weekend I'm free. I'm going to try to bang out the last 12. Or would you, I can't stay up. I'm going to be delirious by 1 o'clock in the morning.
I've stayed up before. I think the most I've ever painted was in one day I think I did a 12-hour stint and I got what did I do? 50 battle droids or something.
See, that was me before the Drakari. It got to shoot, this is 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
And it was 3 o'clock in the morning for crawling in the bed.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, my son started throwing up. I was like, oh my God. I just didn't sleep that night. It's fine. We napped on the couch all day.
Fair. But yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting, maybe, but just kind of trying to, yeah.
Sure. And I look at the scale 75 busts and not just the girl, but there's soldiers and orcs and things like that.
Yeah.
Or even printing a gigantic Mario or something. Just something, I've got some really cool Iron Man and Darth Vader, and I've got massive dioramas. I've got one of the X-Men fighting a Sentinel.
Ooh.
And it's ooh, yeah, do I print something like that? And all right, this is what I 100 hours, start the clock. Yeah. And it's bigger. I don't have to spend as much time on each individual piece. But how far could I push that?
Which I guess the closest thing I've ever done to that was, have you ever heard of a game called Sea of Thieves?
I've heard of it.
Just pirate.
Yep.
Game that Xbox, I guess.
If I may, for just a moment.
Yes.
I tried to play about 2 weeks after it came out.
Oh.
Because it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I logged in. I did something. Somehow, a bunch of kids put me in the jail and locked me in there.
You joined a random crew and then they voted to put you in there. Oh.
Yep. And it was I got jailed by a bunch of kids. I was this game sucks. And I literally never touched it again.
Yeah, don't play with randoms.
And I don't anymore. But it was because I think it was online only, right? There wasn't so I was I'll see what this is about. And I immediately got thrown in jail by these children.
That's sad that was your experience. I have played 500-600 hours of it. It was over the course of a couple years.
I think I've got that in total Warhammer 1, 2, and 3 combined over a decade.
It was more just that was how I hung out with my friends because they're all over the place. But the problem with that game, side tangent, that game doesn't feel good unless you play it for 3 hours because we have to get enough loot to make it worth going to sell, and then you end up getting chased for an hour or chasing someone for an hour, or just you're fighting someone on the server and every 20 minutes they're coming back to fight. But we got pretty good at it.
Nice. It looked cool, but I don't have any I don't have any friends. But I don't know. All my Xbox friends are gone. Nobody's been online in 7 years. So I play Forza against ghosts of people I haven't talked to in a decade.
But yeah. So there's an item in that called an Ashen key. It's just a key that unlocks the thing. But I got a STL of that and had it printed, and I measured it against my hand compared to the in-game character's model. So I got it life size. And then as a birthday present, I gave it to a friend, but I painted it it started from metal and then got progressively hotter to where it looked like it was glowing on the tip.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
If I ever find a picture of it, I'll have to send it to you. But it's kind of that was a display piece.
That's cool.
And then, but it had all these cool beveled edges and stuff, edge highlighted it and stuff. It looked neat.
Well, I've heard some of the professionals say, like, if you want to get better at painting, stop painting Games Workshop models. Paint bigger things. You know? And so I'm torn. Like, I know MCP is a little bigger scale, and same as Shatterpoint, but it's like, I don't want to paint something that I'm not going to either play or put in a display case.
That's my thing, is playing with it is such a big motivator. It's like, I don't want to say it's
circle back. look at us. We're doing it.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I want to say it's the only reason, but to me,
it helps.
99% of the time, I do not want to paint something for the sake of painting it. I want to paint something because it will look cool when I use it on the table.
Yes. Yeah. And so, like, I got the girl on the Manicore whose name has completely escaped me for Cities of Sigmar. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to let her be my showcase because she is in the army. Yeah, let's be honest. I just hate that I've had to, like, chip the glue off of some pieces. It's like, I sure hope the primer covers this well. But I want her to kind of be my centerpiece model for that. And that's one of like, okay, I might set like a 20-hour, like, all right, let's just see what I can do. Because there's feathers and manticore things and beaks and weapons and armor. And it's pretty big for a Sigmar model. So I might do that. Of course, I've got the big vulture boy for Kruleboyz, who's, he can be two things. I don't know what either one of them are.
Bird, but different.
Well, one's like named character and the other one's like boss on vulture.
Oh, gotcha.
So both do cool things though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dang it, I had a thought and it just poof.
It happens. So maybe we do the centerpiece or the bus challenge or something. And I'm sure I could get some guys in the Discord in on this. Because even like, hey guys, let's do our own little paint contest. Yeah. And I print, 10 of the same thing. And we all do our like artistic take on like dwarf with hammer but it could be like a 75 millimeter model, which would be double the scale of what we already use. And it's like, let's just see.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Inquisitor, the game, the board game? Not like
the one where
it's the coveted game from, I guess, the late 90s, early 2000s.
They made really big models for it?
It was 75 millimeter models.
Gotcha.
And those models are insane on eBay.
Interesting.
But they look so cool.
It
not pull the trigger on it cool, but like if somebody's like, hey, do you want these? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'll put it on the shelf.
Did you ever see my Vindicare Assassin? I don't think you did. I don't think
so.
I put quite a bit of time into him. You reminded me with that, but it was because it's got like the muscle suit. So I just like made sure every thing was highlighted, but it kind of, I also didn't make him just black. He was navy blue.
Oh,
that kind of got a little bit
like my Raven Guard. You put a little purple in there or something to give it that.
What I was going to do is I was going to have one of every assassin, and they were going to lean a slightly different color.
We all,
because like what's the one that shapeshifts? The girl, I forget what.
Oh,
Calidus assassin. I was going to go purple.
Yep,
lean purple.
I did that on mine.
And I think Eversor I was going to lean.
He's the only one I don't have.
I think, or something.
Yeah. I guess there's a new Heresy one now too for the bad guys.
Yeah, they got like the demon one. They also have two new ones for the Imperium, but they're not schools that are in 40K or whatever.
Speaking of Heresy, this won't be out by then. But Friday at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they do all the reveals.
Ooh, all the Saturnine stuff.
The new edition.
I think. Yeah. That'll be a later mark problem because Imperial Fist, right? Like I have to fortify. So
I get it.
Armored stuff. I see it. I must.
I made my
use
choice. I chose Sigmar for content.
You did,
and I didn't want to have to drive to Huntsville like twice a week.
You did, and it's kind of that one day. Well, but
Michael is still very interested. By the way, we'll talk off mic about that. But he had some interesting thoughts.
Interesting.
I think we'll talk off mic.
Yeah, but no, I am glad that I'm actually excited about Sigmar enough that it is giving me motivation. And like I said, I think deadlines are important. I think reasonable goals as far as don't have the only goal when you're doing something to be get everything done.
Yes.
Have short-term reasonable ones. And that's just like motivation 101, right?
Well, and something I like about doing the 500 points a month or whatever, it's like that's 2, maybe 3 units.
Is it a month?
I don't. I haven't looked.
Or 2 weeks.
I read it. I think it's a month. Okay. We go up point because it's one of those like this is going to stretch till September things for the Escalation League.
Okay.
I think.
Well,
I think it's 2 games a month, at that point level, and then it goes up.
Okay.
So that gives you time to paint. I mean, you can do 2-3 units a month.
Yeah,
Within
yeah.
reason. So at least I hope I can.
Same.
We'll see. But I've got probably 400 points painted to a point right now. So
Yeah, but yeah, I guess for the listeners, if you're somewhere where it allows you to put comments, definitely just like if you have any,
I think everywhere now you can even comment on Spotify.
you can.
It's really
Interesting.
cool.
But yeah, if you guys have any things that keep you motivated or help,
Yes.
just like definitely put them down
Reply
in
to
there.
the Facebook posts, say something on Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah.
Anything really. And the algorithm loves that. So any input would be appreciated.
But yeah, because I struggle with it. You struggle with it. I think everyone at some point struggles with hobby motivation. So it's something that plagues all of us. So anything that can, help
even the
greater
creators
good.
on YouTube, I see struggling with it
Oh, yeah.
sometimes, and they,
you have to churn out stuff too. So it's like, it's going to be rough.
and you have to film it.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother beast.
That's props to the people that do that, because it's seriously impressive, just the commitment to that.
I've considered streaming my painting.
Oh, just to...
But the schedule is it's like
Yeah.
I can't be consistent.
It'd be whenever, which is...
The only consistent night I really have, we do this.
Well,
Could film that and post. We could be live on Twitch. Outtakes and all. By the way, speaking of me buying the Game Exchange box a little bit ago.
Oh, yeah.
I was so stealthy about it. Like I left it in the car. I went out and got it after my wife went to sleep. All the things, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, some things, I'm not lying. I just didn't disclose it. We have our own money. Everything's completely separate. Like, reasons, parental divorces, like we just keep our money separate. Her money's her money. My money's my money. We don't ask questions.
Yes.
We get in the car to go to the soccer game.
Oh.
Monday night. And my kid sees the receipt as we're backing out of the driveway and goes, Dad, what did you spend $230 on at Game Exchange? Mother. And then Jordan looks at me and goes, Dad, what did you spend $230 on at Game Exchange? It's like,
A USB steering wheel.
soon. I'm going to have to put that in now. Thank you. So, got caught, but purchases count. All right, well, hey, we've been doing this for a little bit. Let's wrap this up.
Yep.
This has been episode 7 of Webway Radio. I'm Kurt.
I'm Mark.
And we'll talk to you next time.